Imagine waking one morning to find yourself standing at the entrance to a door. As it drifts open, stunning views of the night sky filled with bright stars beckon you to cross that threshold. No, you are not in the twilight zone. You are entering an out of body state where your consciousness, your energy body, your awareness becomes so expansive that it leaves your physical body and flies into the cosmos. Would you go? Would you slip through this mysterious door, this crack in the universe, knowing it could take you beyond space and time? And then would you become an explorer of the unknown? My name is Candace Sanderson, and I welcome you. I received several emails about my last episode called Proving the Unprovable, and those questions inspired this episode. In that last one, I described an out of body experience I had during a meditation, but here's the catch. I fell asleep as soon as the meditation began. During what I thought was sleep, what Monroe Institute calls a click out, an aspect of me took real-time notes while my physical body slept. It was not until the next day when I opened my journal that I discovered my handwritten notes about the meditation and the out-of-body experience. Many people click out, but I had no idea how profound a click out experience could be until it happened to me. I discovered that my energy body was far from asleep. She was out there in the 5D, communicating, enjoying, learning, exploring. Discovering my remarkable experience during a click out opened the door for an otherwise hidden event. I realized I held the keys to unlock my click out. Since my opening to Spirit in 2013, which was quite spontaneous, I have this ongoing relationship with multiple messengers, and they have taught me so much, including some of the ins and outs of out of body travels. I am on a learning curve, and each day I gather more information. I love sharing my findings with you. You know, people often ask why I don't teach classes or give readings, do something to monetize my information and my experiences. Well, I have written books, 8 in all, and each of them hit that #1 bestseller on Amazon in several categories. But I did that actually to share my experiences and to share the messages, not so much as an income stream. The messengers have given so much to me, and I want to reciprocate. I want to offer you my firsthand knowledge that I have received at no cost. That is the reason behind the Reluctant Messenger podcast and the Reluctant Messenger YouTube channel. Since 2018, when my first book was published, people have contacted me with personal questions. I feel like I'm lucky because I have had enough time to respond to their questions. But today, I will share things from a larger platform, not from an individual email. I'm talking about Monroe Institute's Expand app, where they have all their wonderful meditations. The community there is usually focused on Bob Monroe's out-of-body adventures. And many I know subscribe to the app to listen to those meditations in hopes of joining the ranks of those who can astral project. They really want to have an OBE, an out-of-body experience. The Expand app launched in 2021, but I was a beta tester before it even went public. In that community forum on the app, with regularity, as new people keep joining the group, they talk about, wanting to have an OBE. It's so important. Many of them will express their frustrations and they'll say, I've been listening to the app for 2 whole weeks. No matter how hard I try, I have not had an OBE. Trying? I'll address that later, but sometimes working smart produces better results than working hard. Many of these people share common beliefs about OBEs that, according to my messengers, might need to be updated or at least refreshed. These views probably originate from studying older information. I know that's true for me. What was true 15, 20, or even 30 years ago has now evolved. And now we stand on the shoulders of those initial explorers. They have already set the foundation. So why do we need to start over? Why not begin where they left off? I used to think an OBE was easily defined. You were either in your body or you were not. Like drawing a line in the sand, you know whether you are on the physical side or on the non physical side, right? It's only logical. Not really. In the past, if I was ready to cross that line into the non physical, I had my to do list. Like an astronaut preparing for launch, my list was detailed. Phone off, check. Door closed, check. Lights off, check. Lay down, close eyes, relax, check, check, check. But before I even did this, I would get my instruction manual out with all those techniques. Which one would I try today? Am I going to roll out of the body? Am I going to climb a ladder? How about that balloon technique or maybe the rope technique? But the list goes on and on. I would pick the method for the day, check. But then I had a backup plan just in case, check. Once I relaxed and after a few deep breaths, I would wait with great anticipation for that energy boost, the vibrations that would catapult me across that line and into the non physical space. If you've been there, you know the routine. By this time, you have checked those boxes, you are psyched, you are wired. But then sometimes the process fizzles out before you separate from your physical body. When those vibrations start getting strong, something happens. You get this rush of adrenaline that sometimes startles you. And you might get, a little scared, a little concerned. And you question this. Oh, do I really want to do this? Oh, where will I go? How will I find my way back? These natural responses to the adrenaline rush ping mission control, who are always reviewing our biological data. What happens? Our anxieties have just derailed our journey. We open our eyes and we find we're still on the launch pad. We hear our engines power down. There's a crackling of static as mission control confirms what we already know. Our voyage has been aborted. But if those vibrations continue without a fear response from us, we prepare to catapult over that line in the sand and float in the ethers of the 5D. We can be anywhere from bouncing off our bedroom ceilings to powering through the cosmos. We learned how to do this from earlier explorers, and I am so grateful for these OBE predecessors. They gave us great techniques to reach that coveted out of body state. They shared the keys to expand in ways we never thought possible. I must admit, although we held the keys to this exclusive club, it was still challenging to unlock these doors to the 5D. But what if there's another way that is smarter and more direct? What if you could toss that manual and to-do list? Would you take this shortcut, this door to the stars? Next question, how do you find it? Just like the good witch Glinda's advice to Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, perhaps you too will realize you had the power all along. But you had to learn it for yourself, not relying on what you've read or what you've studied. Empowerment comes when you discover that trying might just abort the process. When we replace trying with allowing, we make progress. My messengers tell me going out of body is natural. We do it all the time, during nighttime dreams, even daydreams, during meditations, or even remote viewing. And because it is a natural state, we tend to discount those experiences instead of using them as foundations for greater explorations. We tend to say, oh, those are just dreams. Oh, that's just a daydream, or that's just an overactive imagination, or it's only meditation. This is where allowing comes into play. Allowing what is natural to lead us to the door of these divine states, then through the door and far into the cosmos or wherever we want to go. When the messenger showed me the secrets of the universe, that is, when I learned to see life through the lens of energy, it demystified many events that I thought were mystical, including OBEs. It empowered me to color outside the lines of my life, to stretch my beliefs. Let's start with the veil, the boundary between the 3D and the 5D. In my mind's eye, I saw a line drawn in sand, representing that interdimensional line of demarcation, or so I thought. You are in body on one side and out of body on the other side. Next, I found myself in the scene, feeling the earth shake as tectonic plates beneath me began ripping and pulling Earth's crust until nothing was left. What had once been a firm line in the sand became an expansive void. Aha. This dramatic display from the messenger showed the 3D to 5D membrane as it spread to become all-encompassing. This expanded version of the line of the sand opens doors, and we realize the difference between 3D and 5D is not a defined dichotomy. Instead, it has stretched and blended into a pool, into a field of energy. It is an interface where elements from both dimensional spaces exist and interact simultaneously. The psychologist in me calls this a spectrum. And within this field, the spectrum, the frequency specific to our energy bodies seek vibrational matches to the 5D. This process is gradual, it is purposeful, and it is nuanced. We do not have to have a bone-rattling vibrational state, for example, to cross a dichotomous barrier. It is not an all or none experience. It is an allowing where we let go and we seep and expand. When the messenger showed me this vision, it made perfect sense. Many of us, including me in the past, think of the out-of-body experience as some wildly different state of awareness. So we expect that. It certainly can be that. But when we gently slide out of the body in a natural, subtle manner, like in a daydream, we do not think of that as being out of body. Why not? Because it was too easy. It wasn't different. enough. There was no pre-launch checklist. There was no manual. It just was not different enough to feel like a real OBE. I used to believe that a vibrational state and a strong vibrational state, for example, was a prerequisite for any OBE. Several years ago, I attended OBE Intensive. That was a program at Monroe Institute, and at that time it was led by William Buhlman, an expert in the field of self-initiated OBEs. He told our group that things were changing and that many people were projecting, having OBEs, without the vibrational state. This information tugged at the edges of my beliefs, and it opened doors to having OBEs without strong vibrations. Oh, I thought. So there were exceptions to what I thought was a hard, fast rule, the vibrational state as a prerequisite for leaving the body. I, for one, do not have strong vibrations before going out of body. I often have tingles. Quite often they are slight tingles, and every once in a while I have none at all as I slip beyond the confines of the 3D. Now, the old way is certainly valid. I mean, after all, that represents the foundations of where we are now. It is tried and true. But realize the natural way is also an option. This method is just as valuable, if not more so, because it opens the experience to more people. It is natural, something we all do. So why not widen your definition of an OBE and recognize the out-of-body experience as the spectrum that it is? There is not a definitive line in the sand. There is a great void with multiple layers that offer doors, shortcuts, staircases, wormholes to what can be extremely expansive experiences if we would only allow ourselves to enter. Let me share some examples from the Expand app community. With regularity, people will describe experiences when they listen to Monroe Sound Science from the app. Some have met with beautiful beings of light. Some have met with angels. Others have communicated with loved ones who have passed away. And I think, wow, what great OBEs to meet and communicate with the non-physical. These profound experiences are potentially life-changing. They heal us. They uplift us. They give us opportunities to experience life fuller than what is possible in the 3D. Moments later, however, things change. I am deflated. I am speechless when I read the rest of their post. They will write things like, but I haven't had an OBE yet, or, but I really want to have an out-of-body experience, or I know this was just a meditation, so that means it was not real. You know, I don't know whether to laugh or to cry when I read these responses. Unfortunately, comments like this happen all the time. People are stuck in their belief systems, thinking that, for example, if they don't have a strong vibrational state, one of those boxes we check, then they must not have had an OBE. But questions come to mind. Just who was out there meeting your grandpa or talking with angels? Who was zooming through the cosmos? Obviously, it is not your physical body, but it is you. It is your energy body, your spirit, your essence, your consciousness, your awareness, whatever term you feel comfortable with. It is an aspect of you that was functioning outside of the physical body. So, by definition, you were in an out of body state. It is an easy concept to understand if you allow yourself to get out of the way long enough to put that instruction manual and to-do list aside. You used a shortcut, a valid, remarkable, natural method that is accessible to everyone. You found the secret door. The point is, when you are in these liminal spaces, you are out of body and you have the option to explore. This is a good time and place to pause and give you a chance to process this information. Look at your beliefs about astral projections and out of body experiences and acknowledge those natural ways that we slip from the 3D. We will continue this conversation in the next episode. We will pull back the curtain just to see who is guiding us into these realms of the 5D and how to control our remarkable journeys out of the body. Until then, remember the importance of kindness and understanding and being compassionate. Until next time, bring goodness into your hearts. Radiate love as you walk this earth. I thank you so much. I am so grateful for you joining me. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing these episodes. Until next time, goodbye.